Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beth. I am a 36-year-old attorney living in the DC area with my husband. And for today's video, we are going to do an old-fashioned Sephora haul. So it's been a while since I filmed a Sephora haul, or I guess any type of haul on my channel. So I wanted to show you some of the items that I've picked up over the last several months before we head on into the spring Sephora savings event. So the last haul I posted, I think, was around November 15th. So I'm kind of catching up since then and showing you what I've picked up at Sephora and letting you know my thoughts on some of the items that I've been trying. So as I mentioned, the spring savings event is coming up and I did receive a flyer in the mail like so. Hey guys, so before I get into the sale dates and the discount levels and all of that, I did want to mention that Sephora did send me a one-time use code that I can share with a friend. So I did want to share that with one of you in case you're not a Rouge member and you would like to take advantage of the 20% off at Sephora during the sale. So I thought to make this a little bit more interesting and a little bit more of a contest, I would pose a question at the end of this video that you can respond to on my Instagram. So I'm trying not to make this overly complicated, but I wanted to actually give out the code over Instagram via DM so that only the person who won the code would be able to see it. So I will, like I said, have the question at the end of this video. And then I will also have a post on my Instagram that talks about this haul. It should be pretty obvious. And then you would answer the question in the comments of that Instagram post. So the first person to correctly answer that question will receive the code via DM. So make sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel and that you are also following me on Instagram so that I can reach out to you if you are the winner. So hopefully that all made sense. If you have any questions, just let me know down below. But I wanted to have a little bit of fun without making it overly complicated, so hopefully I achieved that. So I thought I would just quickly tell you the dates and the discounts for that sale. This video isn't sponsored or affiliated with Sephora. I'm just sharing this for your information. So if you are a beauty insider, that is the entry level of the Sephora Rewards program. You get 10% off, and that starts on April 7th through the 11th. If you are a VIB member, which is the next tier, the sale starts for you on April 5th and it goes through the 11th, and you get 15% off. And if you are a Rouge member, the sale starts on April 1st and goes through the 11th. So the sale ends on the same day for everyone, but the start date depends on your rewards level. But I think everyone, regardless of your tier level, you can get 30% off of the Sephora collection. So it's a good time to pick up anything from the in-house brand at Sephora if you've had your eye on it. So speaking of the 30% off, I did pick up some of the Sephora Lip Stains at the very end of the fall sale. So these were 30% off, and Sephora has a pretty decent liquid lipstick formula if you haven't tried it before. So I thought I would just swatch some of the different shades for you. I picked up a bunch of different kind of red shades. And summer maybe isn't the peak time for red lipsticks, but I always think of wearing red around the 4th of July anyway. So I thought I would just go ahead and share with you. Of course, the numbers are very difficult to see here. So the cream lip stain in shade 01 is, I think, maybe the most well-known or most spoken about red from this line. So that is 01. And then I also have here, all right, so this is the shade 94, so this is called Cherry Moon. And I also have Red Velvet, which is shade 96, so that's this one. And then 97, this is called Red Desert. And then finally, I also got the Cream Lip Shine in the shade 08, but I think this formula has been discontinued, so I don't think you'll be able to get this one. But as the name would suggest, this had a shiny finish. The other ones kind of dried down to a matte. So again, from my thumb to my pinky, we have 01, 94, 96, 97, and then at the top is the Cream Lip Shine in 08. And again, I think that one was discontinued. Hopefully you can kind of see the difference in finish there as the cream lip stains are kind of setting down. Alright, so with that order, I got a deluxe sample of the Gucci mascara. This is a mascara that I know Hannah Louise Poston really likes, and this is actually what I'm wearing on my lashes today. I had used it sometime last year, and it's kind of getting towards the end of its lifespan, so I wanted to wear it again. And I don't know if I like it more than the Lights Camera Splashes, but as far as kind of keeping my lashes lifted and volumizing them without being overly clumpy, I think it's done a pretty good job. So I would, I guess, consider repurchasing it, but usually the Lights Camera Splashes, it's easier to find on sale, and I think it's just cheaper to begin with. So I don't know if I would shell out for this mascara. It also has that kind of rubberized wand to it, which I didn't mind. It's usually not my favorite, but I think, you know, it worked well with the formula. So I was happy to be able to try this, and I have enjoyed it, but I don't know if it will be a repurchase for me. And then a couple samples. So with samples, I can tell you what I selected, but that doesn't always mean that Sephora actually sent it to me. So I think I got a sample of the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser, which is a cleanser that I do enjoy using from time to time. And I also got a sample of the First Aid Beauty Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. So I do like a lot of First Aid Beauty products, so I thought, you know, I might pick this up. And if I have need of an anti-dandruff shampoo, then I can give it a try. All right, so next up I have two of the Fenty Killawatt highlighters. Sephora had like a random, I think, 20% off sale. So I already filmed a review of this product, and I am wearing it today also. I'm wearing the shade Vintage Velour. So, you know, it does show up decently well on camera because I have the lights and everything, but I would say if you want a liquid highlighter that is on the more subtle side, I think this is maybe a good formula to look at. I think if you want something that's like really beaming, I would recommend looking at the Charlotte Tilbury Spotlight Beauty Light Wand. So this one. But yeah, if you just want something a little bit more subtle, I think this one does kind of blend in pretty well. And it doesn't like pick up makeup underneath. I applied this over powder, so I think it did kind of blend in nicely on the cheeks. It's just a kind of more subtle look than some other highlighters you might have. So yeah, so I got those, and I will link that video for you if you haven't seen it. And I think whatever code they gave didn't allow for a deluxe sample, so all I have is like the normal samples. But I did get a sample of the Danessa Myricks Vision Cream Cover, which I haven't tried yet. It looks like the lightest shade is N03, which it looks like is like the fourth lightest on this little chart. So I might give it a try. I'm not sure if that shade would work for me or not. But anyway, I picked that one up, and then I also got the Pharmacy Honey Halo, and I think I used that sample during my like FabFitFun What Will I Choose video to kind of show you the texture and everything. So I don't have that to show you anymore, but I think that was the sample I received. And then were they still doing 20% off, or was it a different 20% off? I'm not sure. But I did get a Clinique lipstick in the shade Peppermint Pop. This was, I think, $15. The name of it just kind of really spoke to me, I guess, around Christmas. So I picked this up. Haven't used it yet. This is a matte lipstick. It does feel like the texture of the tube is kind of that soft matte feel that might get sticky over time, kind of like the NARS packaging. So not kind of thrilled about that, but yeah, that is the shade Peppermint Pop. So I'm not sure if I will get a lot of use out of this in the near future, but I decided to get that. And then I also got this Fenty Mattemoiselle Plush Matte Lipstick in the shade Ya Dig, which is described as a periwinkle shade. And I picked this up because they had announced that, what's it called? Very Peri is the 2022 color of the year. So I bought this Fenty lipstick in a blue shade for that video. I'll link that video for you as well if you want to see a lot of different kind of periwinkle type colors on my face. So I think that product has been discontinued. Again, I probably won't get a ton of wear out of that color, but it was kind of fun to play around with, and I don't think I own any other blue lipsticks like that, so I'll have it if the need arises. And then again, I got another Danessa Myricks Vision Cream Cover, and also the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer, which I haven't tried yet. And on this one, the lightest shade looks like it is 160C, which is about there on the shade range. So again, that might be a little dark for me, but I don't know. Sometimes there isn't a good sample to be had, so I just kind of picked the best of what's available. I picked up a new launch from Kosas, and that was their 10 Second Eye Gel Watercolor Eyeshadow. And again, I've already reviewed this, so I'll link to it, but this was not a good experience. I'll just say that. Like, I couldn't get it to work well, and I had tried the original formula, so the video that I filmed kind of compares this to the original. Fortunately, this was only $15, so it didn't feel like a huge waste of money, but I don't know, I just couldn't get it to kind of apply and blend nicely on the eye. Like, it just kind of ended up looking chunky. So that was kind of a fail, but I still have it in my collection anyway. And then I also got this little Kaja sponge, which came in kind of an interesting box here. The box was like a square that you would open somehow, and then this little like heart would pop up if you punched it out. And I think the idea is that you would like rest the sponge in here, which I guess is kind of cute, but like the actual box with the instructions and everything doesn't look all that nice. And then if you've just used a sponge, it's probably kind of wet or whatever, so the foundation or water or whatever would probably get on the box and kind of mess it up. So I guess it's nice in theory, but I don't know, that was kind of a miss for me. But the actual sponge is kind of cute, and I just picked it up to kind of round out my order. I still need to film my like Valentine's Day beauty closet now that we're in mid-March. So I picked this up to include in my beauty closet as like a decor item, basically. So I think what I'll do is film what it looks like now and then change it over to kind of like March, April, and that way you'll be able to see kind of both setups. But yeah, I just got this as like a little kind of cute thing to play around with. And then with this order, I got the Sol de Janeiro Nourishing Hair Oil. This was about 1/4 of an ounce or 8 milliliters, and I haven't used it yet, but again, it was kind of the best of what was available. It says it enhances shine, deeply moisturizes, and fights frizz. So I think I'll just kind of put a little bit on my hand here. I feel like hair oil, it's really easy to overdo it. And like, this is a pretty decent size, and seeing as how you don't need to use a lot, I think it should last a good amount of time. Yeah, so it definitely has that kind of creamy pistachio scent. I just washed my hair earlier, and I, put in all the leave-ins and stuff, so I don't know if this will kind of make a huge difference. It smells nice though, and it doesn't feel like it's kind of like overly greasy. But yeah, if you like the original Boom Boom scent and you like hair oils, then yeah, maybe give that a try. And then I got 2 fragrance samples here. I got the Gucci Bloom Profumo, I think it is. So that looks like that. I don't know what the notes are or anything. And then I also got Skylar Vanilla Sky Eau de Toilette. And it says it is rich, creamy, and warm. Oh, so it has notes of cappuccino, vanilla, and caramelized cedar. I really do need to order some, what do you call them? Like fragrance strips. The first ingredient of this is organic, I think it's organic sugarcane alcohol denatured. So is it alcohol from sugarcane? It's interesting. Yeah, it's very kind of warm and like ambery almost. Yeah, so that's not really the type of fragrance I typically go for. I usually like more of a floral, but I can imagine some people that are real like kind of vanilla fiends would really enjoy that. So yeah, I got that little fragrance sample. All right, and then the next order I placed, I just had to wash my hands to get that oil off. I finally got the Urban Decay Naked Cyber palette. So this was half off, or $24.50. And I still buy Naked palettes, but I kind of make it a rule for myself that I don't purchase them at full price because inevitably they go on sale for half off at some point. I'm still waiting for the Wild West to go on sale. And I haven't collected every single Urban Decay Naked palette. I've never purchased the Cherry or is it the Ultraviolet I haven't purchased, but yeah, this has a really fun packaging to it, and I think I received this around the same time that I got the Bridgerton palette from Pat McGrath, the original one, and I think just getting this and like opening it, it just felt much more, I don't know, luxurious or exciting than the Pat McGrath palette did, so that was kind of an interesting discovery or observation, but yeah, I haven't used this yet, and really it was more the kind of packaging and theming of it that really attracted me. So my husband works in IT, so I had some like sentimental kind of connection to this palette, as funny as that is. So yeah, so I just kind of picked it up at half off, and like I said, I'm waiting for the Wild West to go on sale, but I wouldn't recommend that anyone probably purchase a Naked palette at full price at this point, but it is what it is. And then I also got the Shiseido Facial Cotton, so I restocked on this. This is like the full size. So I just got this to kind of take me over, I think the $25 or $35 even. It might have been $35 to get a deluxe sample. So I got more of those. And then I got a sample of the Skin Fix Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream, which is really nice. So I have, I think, had a full size of this before, and I'm not as concerned with like my moisture barrier now that we're heading into summer, but Skin Fix in general is a really good brand if you have kind of a damaged skin barrier or dry skin in general. So it's really nice for anyone who's kind of like eczema prone and that kind of thing. So got a sample of that, and then I also got a sample of the by Rosie Jane perfume oil. So this is the Rosie Pure Perfume Oil. It says it's inspired by meditation and naked skin. Feels like sleeping in your birthday suit. Nude musk and sweet rose. So I filmed a whole video dedicated to my favorite rose fragrances if you are curious. But let's try this one. I did like the Nest rose perfume oil, but I haven't gotten anything more than like a little sample. This is kind of nice because it has like a, it's not like a pipette, but it has like a little, I guess, applicator for the oil. Just put some of that on the wrist there. It's not very strong, I don't think. Yeah, I think all I'm getting is like a slightly floral musk to it. It's nice, but it's not very powerful, I don't think. So anyway, that's my hot take anyway. And then I also got this Ole Henriksen, what is this called? Strength Trainer Peptide Boost Moisturizer. So this was a little kind of deluxe sample. This was 7 ml or 1/4 of an ounce. And I think I picked this up before Tati did like a sponsored video and said it was like her favorite moisturizer ever, basically. I have used a decent amount of it and I like it. It's kind of thick, but it does, I think, kind of sink in pretty well. So as I said, like I do like those kind of barrier replenishing type ingredients and products. This one has kind of a citrusy smell to it. So generally I prefer my skincare to be unscented. This does have fragrance and citral, limonene, and linalool. So yeah, so that was really my only kind of negative about this product, was that it does have that scent. But if you're not bothered by that, then it might be worth taking a look at. It feels nice. It doesn't feel like the most kind of like occlusive, like thick moisturizer I've ever tried, but depending on your skin type, you might not want that. So I'm kind of just neutral about this. I don't love it, I don't hate it. But that was it for my deluxe sample for that purchase. Next up, I finally got my hands on the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty bronzer stick. I have it in the shade Happy Soul, and this is actually what I'm wearing today for my bronzer. So I like this product, but I think given the choice, I think I would just prefer to use a powder bronzer. But I did a video with a full face of like stick makeup, so basically makeup in stick form. So if you want to see me applying this and using it in combination with a lot of other products, I will link that video for you. But yeah, I think, you know, for the price point, and I am glad that I went with this shade, which is the slightly darker option. I think the lightest shade is actually a bit more kind of yellow in tone. So for my skin tone, I'm glad that I went with this color, and I think it does blend out pretty well. So yeah, happy that I was finally able to try that. Hopefully it will be in stock if anyone has been waiting for the Sephora sale to pick it up. And I also got this Sephora Cherry Blossom Bubble Bath and Shower Gel. Really, I just liked the look of the package, and like I said, I live in the DC area and cherry blossoms are kind of a big thing around here during the spring. So I think we just started the Cherry Blossom Festival. It might have started on March 20th, and I think peak bloom has officially started, so when the blossoms are like fully out and everything. So hopefully I will be able to take a trip down to the Tidal Basin tomorrow around the Jefferson Memorial and look at the cherry blossoms in person, which I haven't been able to do for the last couple of years. So yeah, so I just kind of wanted to have this in the bathroom as just kind of a little seasonal accent, but it does smell nice. It has kind of an interesting structure to it, I guess. So I haven't actually used this as a body wash or a shower gel, but it smells nice. It probably has sulfate in it, I'm guessing. So I would probably use it more as a bubble bath than a shower gel. But I think this was only about $6. So if this appeals to you, I think they have a few different scents that you can choose from, but yeah, I just kind of thought it was pretty, basically. And with this, I got a sample of the Merit Foundation, which I haven't tried yet. And then also a sample of the Rare Beauty primers. I am actually wearing their illuminating primer today. So this I didn't get from Sephora. I got it from a BoxyCharm like pop-up sale, but yeah, I thought I would just throw this on because I did get that as a sample. And so far so good. I mean, I used it under the Kosas Foundation, which I will talk about in a minute. And this already is pretty kind of luminous. So I don't know that I necessarily needed an illuminating primer underneath it, but I decided to throw it on for good measure. And lastly, I got a sample, a deluxe sample of a shadow from the Natasha Denona Glam palette, which I do have the full size of, so I didn't really need to get this, but I just thought it was really cute. I thought about getting the Baby Glam palette, which I think maybe has one new shade compared to the full size. But I do like how she kind of continued the little star motif for this little deluxe sample. And this is, in case you're curious, the shade 321M. It's called Outer Eyelid. And as much as I like the Glam palette, it does make it a little bit difficult to reference. So there are a few different shades that are called Outer Eyelid. But I thought I would just tell you that 321M is this shade up here, so in the top row, the one that's called Outer Eyelid. So I'll just quickly swatch that for you in compared to this one. So the sample is on my middle finger and the palette is on my ring finger. I feel like the payoff on the full-size palette is maybe a little bit better, but I don't know if I'm just kind of imagining things. I would say that the Glam palette is my favorite Natasha Denona palette by far, so if you are looking to purchase anything from Natasha Denona during the spring savings event, I would heartily recommend the Glam palette as a great place to start, especially if you think you might enjoy this color story. So yeah, great palette from Natasha Denona. And then next up, I got another stick product, so one that I included in my full face of stick makeup. This is the Bobbi Brown Corrector, and I have it in the shade Extra Light Bisque. And Stephanie Marie, I think, just mentioned this as one of her favorite products for February, I think. And she also mentioned it in a recent video where she talked about, I don't know, like her favorite under eye concealer or something along those lines. I do love that it does have a magnetic closure, which makes it feel a little bit more high-end. Not that Bobbi Brown isn't like high-end, but I mean, they could have cheaped out on the packaging, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the magnet is really nice, and for me, this is actually a really good like skin tone match almost. So I can kind of get away with just wearing this and not putting a concealer on top, which I can't always do because sometimes correctors are just a little bit too like peach or orange and they just don't look natural. So the Charlotte Tilbury corrector, for example, this is in the shade Fair, just to kind of show you the comparison there. I like the Bobbi Brown. Like I said, I think I can kind of get away with that as my concealer, especially if I'm going for a more natural look. I wonder if I should have gone with a darker shade though, to kind of contribute more to that color correcting. So today I'm wearing the Bobbi Brown corrector underneath the Wet n Wild concealer, so I did still double up on a corrector and a concealer. And I do typically use both just because my under eyes are pretty substantial. I do have that Color Science Color Fix, I think it's called. And if I'm literally doing kind of a no makeup look and I just want something underneath my eyes that will make them a little less intense, then that's usually the product I reach for. And that one also has the added benefit of having like some sunscreen built in. So yeah, so that's my kind of running out the door, just grab and go type product. And I'll usually pair that maybe with like the Tower 28 sunscreen and like a clear brow gel, that kind of look, and not even do like mascara or anything. So yeah, so I have been enjoying this product. I don't know that it was like a must buy for me, but when I saw that Bobbi Brown had come out with a new stick corrector when I was planning to do that video, it was kind of like, well, I better pick it up then. And then I also got a restock of the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. I just really enjoy this because it has such a fine, tiny brush that it's fairly easy to put mascara on the lower lashes without kind of getting it everywhere. And I believe this is also a tubing formula, so it helps with any kind of smudging or anything that may arise if you have watery eyes, or if your concealer isn't set all the way, then this is really helpful for preventing smudging and that kind of thing. So yeah, so I got another one of those. And then I also got a deluxe sample of the YSL Black Opium Eau de Parfum Illicit Green. And I just thought this bottle looked really cool. As you may know, I collect these little perfume minis. So I decided to pick this up. It kind of gave me a very like Halloween type vibe to it, even though it was nowhere near Halloween when this came out. And I might put the notes down below, I forget what they are, but I'm not like a huge fan of the original Black Opium. I don't mind it, but it's not like one of my favorites or anything. I'm gonna have all kinds of perfume all over me. But from what I could smell of this, I did actually like it. So I think this has now come to Ulta, and I think they might have a travel spray as well, if I'm not mistaken. So if you do like the original Black Opium, maybe, you know, try and get a sample of this, because I do like it. I don't plan to purchase the full size anytime soon, but Like I said, I do like to collect those little minis, especially when the mini bottle is kind of different or unique. And then I got a sample of the Skin Feels Good Multitasking Hydrating Skin Tint. So this comes with, it looks like 4 different shades. So sometimes these samples are just kind of helpful to shade match. It looks like this one has 01N Nude Vanilla, which might be the second lightest shade. So there's a chance that that could be kind of near enough to my skin tone. But if I'm ever interested in this product, at least I have that to kind of eliminate shades potentially. Alright, speaking of eliminating shades, I have the Kosas Foundation here in the shade 120 Very Light Cool. And again, I filmed a whole review video dedicated to this, and I am wearing it today. So as I said, I think the trick for me for this foundation is to not try to build up the coverage, because today I basically dotted it around my face and then blended it in with a beauty blender. And I think doing that combined with like some bronzing and contouring and that kind of thing, I think it looks okay. I'm still tempted to get the lightest shade, which I just posted on my Instagram, so make sure to follow me on Instagram if you're not already. That the lightest shade in this, I think, is the equivalent of the Lisa Eldridge No. 5 foundation, because the same model, it looks like anyway, modeled both of those products. So if you were one or the other and you wanted to know what your match was, you can take advantage of my kind of weird observation there. So I really do like the finish. I did have my kind of issues with this when I used it because, like I said, like building it up, I think the shade was a little bit off, and it does have niacinamide in it as an ingredient. So if you are sensitive to niacinamide, make sure to note that, and make sure to maybe not combine it with other skincare that already contains niacinamide, because I think then you can kind of run into some irritation and that kind of thing. But yeah, it is a very kind of luminous foundation. The interesting thing about this foundation to me, it's not a super long wearing foundation, and I did set it today with the LYS powder that I keep holding up. So I did set it, but it still has a good amount of like luminosity to it, and I do like this powder in the way that it kind of sets makeup but not like overly drying me out. But when I did a full day wear test with this product, I did notice that like towards the end of the night, I didn't look excessively shiny. I thought given the formula and the texture and everything, it would just look super oily by the end of the night. But it really didn't. It kind of kept the same finish throughout the day, which I thought was kind of impressive and a little unusual. So that's just kind of my little like capsule review, but make sure to check out that video for the full review. And speaking of niacinamide, I did get the Pharmacy Niacinamide Mask. This has 10% niacinamide, which I'm kind of scared to use now. But I do know that, I think the channel name is like Honest Beauty Review or something like that. I'll try and link it for you. But I think she did mention this in a video, and I think she mentioned that she has had some issues with like niacinamide products in the past, or she was kind of scared about the percentage, but it ended up working out, not causing any irritation. So yeah, I'll try to link her video for you as well. So anyway, so I got this little pharmacy sample, even though I haven't used it at all yet. And then finally, there was another Rare Beauty primer and a Beauty Blender liquid charcoal cleanser. So those were my samples for this order. All right, and then getting towards the end here. So Sephora had this deal where I think if you spent like $75, you got 500 bonus points. And I am a Rouge member, so I think I get like 1.25 points for every dollar I spend. But it does definitely take a while to build up points at Sephora. So this was a nice little shortcut to get to the 2,500 point level that I needed to redeem a Rouge reward, so I decided to go ahead and take advantage of this offer. All right, so the first item I got, like I said, I usually only purchase Naked palettes at 50% off these days. So I did get the Urban Decay Naked Honey for 50% off because, as you may have seen on my channel, Aldi had released these, they're called the Lacura palettes. That's their like in-house brand. So these are basically like Naked palette dupes. So I purchased 4 different palettes from Aldi that were supposed to dupe Urban Decay palettes. And I had 2 of the palettes that they were duping, but I didn't have the other 2. The Heat palette I got from the Urban Decay website when it was 50% off, but this Honey palette was 50% off, I think over like President's Day. So I went ahead and picked this up so that I can do a comparison video. So that is the next palette comparison video that I plan to film. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, I have already compared the Naked 2 and the Smoky. So again, I'll link those for you if you would like to check them out. I've probably run out of the number of cards I can post at this point, but just to give you a quick look here at the difference. So the Aldi palette is on the top and the Urban Decay is on the bottom. So I will be doing a dedicated comparison video, swatching these and not dropping them, and doing like a look on each eye with the 2 palettes. So those are kind of fun videos to film. And then I also got the Makeup by Mario Suede lipstick, and I got it in the shade Pinky Brown. This was when he only had 3 shades released. I think now he has more shades, so I don't know if this is the shade I would have chosen if all of those had been released. So I did apply this earlier, but then I took it off because I wasn't loving the way that it looked with this eyeshadow. But I'll go ahead and reapply it. I think Patty Alonso just kind of talked about this in a video, and I haven't done any kind of long-term like wear test or anything like that. Probably not the best application. So yeah, I think on me it leans a little bit towards the grayish side, which is not bad. It's just maybe not my preferred type of color, but it does feel very comfortable. It doesn't like overly exaggerate texture or lines or anything. And I have been trying to be really good about like taking care of my lips. So they're not overly chapped at the moment, but it doesn't feel super drying. It doesn't feel very hydrating, but it doesn't feel super drying either. And I'll just do a quick, yeah, so you can see it definitely is not transfer proof, but I don't think it claims to be either. So usually you sacrifice either comfort or longevity, and this isn't at either extreme. So if you want something that is maybe more long wearing, but not like completely budge proof, then it might be a nice product to look at. And then I also got this Necessaire Deoderant Gel. This is the fragrance-free version. And I have been using this. This is an aluminum-free deodorant. It says it's a multi-acid treatment for odor control. And it has mandelic acid, lactic acid, and witch hazel water. So on a day-to-day basis, I don't get sort of overly sweaty. I'm not like, usually I'm not leaving the house all that much. This does have one of those like kind of rollerball applicators. One of the selling points of this style of deodorant though, and I think I mentioned this, what video was I just filming that I mentioned this? Oh, my Ulta 21 Days of Beauty week 2 video where I talked about the Kapari deodorant. So that one just has like coconut oil, so it has a nice kind of like soothing type texture. This one has those acids in it that I mentioned, and I think this is helpful in kind of correcting discoloration or darkness underneath the arms. So if you wanted a natural like non-aluminum deodorant and you also had that concern of like darkness and that kind of thing, you might want to look into this product, or I know Kosas makes one. I think I prefer the packaging on this one over the Kosas. It does have like a glass bottle, so depending how you feel about that, you know, whether you think it might break or whatever. But yeah, I have been enjoying this. So I'm not a strict like natural deodorant only type person, but I have been enjoying that. So yeah, maybe look into it. And then I also got a top coat from Nails Inc. This is the Nail Pure Longwear Top Coat, 6-free, non-toxic, and gentle formula. I just felt like some of my top coats were getting a bit old, so I decided to get that one. And then I also got this little Lip Stories lipstick from Sephora. This is in the shade 76 Autumn Blaze, and this is a matte formula. Again, I just thought it would be kind of fun to have during the fall, which admittedly is miles away at this point. But yeah, it just has a pretty kind of leaf pattern on it, and this was like $4.50. So I went ahead and got this. And the color is pretty kind of, I guess, muted, kind of terracotta type color. So yeah, much more fall inspired than spring. And then for my deluxe sample, I got the YSL Lash Crash Mascara, which I've heard can kind of dry out a bit after a week or so. So I haven't tried this yet. I wanted to use the Gucci mascara again before it expired, so I haven't kind of tried this out yet. But yeah, I just thought I would try it out. And it was one of those rare instances. I don't know if this is a recent change that Sephora has implemented, where I think I had to put in a code to get the bonus points, but then I could also use a code to get a deluxe sample. So it'll be interesting to see if that's true during the spring savings event. I'm not sure if it will be or not, but yeah, it was nice to be able to do both, to get the bonus points and a deluxe sample. And then I did get my Rouge reward. So those 500 points put me over the edge, and I didn't have any trouble getting a Rouge reward. I think previously there were times where you really had to be on the website on Tuesday or Thursday around, I think, noon Eastern, maybe 1 p.m., somewhere around there, when they would go live, because otherwise they would sell out and you couldn't get one. But I didn't have any trouble this time around. I don't know if I was just lucky, or if people maybe have been buying less at Sephora in general, so they don't have those points to spend. But I think I was a few hours late, or maybe it was even a day after it went live, and I still managed to get one. So what I purchased, so with my Rouge rewards, they have to be spent within a certain period of time, and you have to spend them, I think, all in one go. It's a $100 reward, and I don't think you can return anything. So you're kind of like, you know, committing to whatever you're getting. So I got 2 palettes were the main things that I picked up. And the first palette, I debated a little bit. So just for way of reference, I think the first Rouge reward I got the Natasha Denona Biba palette, which is like over $100. And then I also got the Pat McGrath Divine Rose palette with a Rouge reward. So I try to kind of look for those more like investment palettes or whatever, where I really don't want to spend full price, and it's something that I can kind of look at and say like, okay, that's what that went to. So for this Rouge reward, I ended up getting the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eyeshadow Palette. So I think this retails for $68, so not cheap by any means. If you are Rouge and you've been interested in it, it might be in stock during the Sephora spring savings event, but it's hard to say. But this was a palette that I had kind of lusted after for months at this point. I think I even mentioned during the kind of fall savings period that I had my eye on this palette, but I think it was out of stock. So I decided to get this palette. I haven't actually used it yet, but I did get this. And then with the remainder of the reward, I actually got the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. So this was on sale. I think it's possibly half off. It might still be half off. And this is actually what I'm wearing on my lids today. You might be wondering why, if I listed after the Pat McGrath palette for so long, why I didn't kind of dip into this one as opposed to the Huda Beauty. But I still have my eye on the Rose Quartz, so I kind of wanted to try out, I think this was her second most recent palette, so the one that came out before the Rose Quartz. And I hadn't been super impressed with the, was it Rose Gold Remastered palette? But something about this palette is kind of really attractive. I just saw that, I think Morgan Turner put this as like one of her top palettes for spring. And for today, for example, I have Momentum all over the lid, so that nice kind of creamy matte. I really do like having a matte like that in the palette. And then I have Off Balance and Hot Mess in the crease, and Cosmic and Supernova over the lid. So Cosmic is like on the inner corner and Supernova is on the outer corner. And I do like the way that it turned out. So these shadows are a little bit more of that kind of thicker, like silicone-y type texture, the shimmers anyway, which I kind of like, but they do apply better, I think, with a finger than with a brush. So yeah, so I think I'm pretty happy with how this look came out, and I'm not a huge fan of how she has her face on all of her palettes generally, which is one reason why I do have my eye on the Rose Quartz, because she kind of departed from that. But there are definitely days where I feel like Mercury retrograde kind of defines my work life, I'll just put it that way. So yeah, so I decided to pick this up for half off, and I do still have my eye on the Rose Quartz, so that is, I think, on my list for the spring savings event. I'm not sure if Huda Beauty will have a better sale around the same time, but that is one thing to look at if you are just a beauty insider or VIB maybe even, where you only get 10 or 15% off. Pay attention to those brand websites, because a lot of times they will offer at least 20% off, sometimes more. So like Pat McGrath, for example, I would almost universally recommend buying Pat McGrath from the Pat McGrath website, because their sales are generally just better than 20% off. Like I think right now it's like 25. So just something to keep in mind. And then for the samples for this one, so again, this was kind of a nice surprise where they let me redeem a deluxe sample code, even though I was using like a rewards code. So I got this duo of the YSL Black Opium and the Y Cologne. So these are kind of like, I don't know, like heftier normal samples. They even have little caps like so. So these are like 3 ml each, I think. Yeah, 3 ml versus, where's the perfume? Versus this, for example, was 1.5 ml. So like twice the size of a normal perfume sample. So I went ahead and got these. And then the other two samples I got were the Way Thick Hair Shampoo and Conditioner. I have used like full sizes of both of these products, I think, before. I do just generally like Way as a brand, so I picked those up. And then finally I got a little sample here of the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I do have this product. I think I have it in the shade Vanilla Light 2. But I do plan to do a full face of NARS soon, because I just got that Summer Unrated palette and the new light reflecting foundation. So I wanted to kind of do a full face of NARS to kind of incorporate everything. So yeah, so I just decided to pick this up in case I needed a fresh sample of anything. Okay, so that is it for my kind of November through mid-March. How many months is that? December, January, February. So 4 months. So basically a third of a year, which is a lot, but I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what I've picked up and maybe gave you some ideas for the upcoming Sephora event. So I think that's gonna do it. So I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.